Right. Hello. Yes. So when I started.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Truthbombs and Bloopers. And today we have another very special guest for our artist series. It's Yoshi Arima from Canada. Hello, Yoshi.
Hello. Happy to
Oh,
be here.
yes, welcome. Before we dive in, we would like to hear your story from how you started to be creative and how life led you to where you are now.
It's a fun journey. It's funny. It always seems to go back to maybe when I was 10 years old and I saw Star Wars in the theater, and my uncle got lost getting there. So I missed the whole scrolling credits and the first big spaceship going in. The first thing I saw when I walked into the theater was Darth Vader coming into the other ship. And my mouth was just like, like, what is that? What ended up happening in that show that I didn't even realize was that they started talking about this thing called the Force. And something in my little 10-year-old kid was just like, he remembered what Obi-Wan said at one point. He says, it's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, binds the galaxy together. And I was just like something was telling me at that point, there's something magical about this. And then I just became a nut about Star Wars and didn't let it go for ages. But that journey kind of sparked so many things. It was an interest in what I didn't know was spirituality for me. And then there was this other interest of, how do you make spaceship models like that and have that as a job and then do these things? So I was really excited about that. And hearing laser sounds like pew pew pew, it's like this is this is amazing. So I ended up from that day just getting so crazy about it that it led me on this path where I was buying the art books, behind the scenes stuff and magazines and everything. That ended up, fast forward, making me think, oh, I'm going to study art. But my brother was into computers. Computers were just kind of starting out at that point. So his whole high school path was programming. So I thought I was following my brother's footsteps most of the time. So I went to study programming as like part of my curriculum. And so I was taking, at the same time, thinking I had to do it, I was taking calculus, algebra, functions, physics, and all these courses. And high school was turning out to be the most horrible place for me ever. And I wasn't connecting that there's things that you can do to love your job, right? So I was thinking I have to go this way because that's the path that's being laid out for me. That's what's an option to go into because it's going to get so popular. But I really love to draw ever since I was a kid. But I was always like, drawing is a hobby. Programming is a real job. So the moment changed in grade 11 when all of a sudden it was like, I don't understand this programming anymore. I think I'm going to switch to art. And I scarily asked my parents, is it okay if I switch my course to that? And it's like, you know what, you can do whatever you want. We'll support you in any way. And then I headed towards art, applied at my favorite college, didn't get accepted there, thought the world was over, found another one, and went into the art path, took illustration. Eventually I saw computer animation that I had to wait 3 years and 4 years to get into. But then that got me into applying for jobs in that area. So then I started working in visual effects. Actually, at the very beginning, I was just doing corporate animations, and then started working on visual effects for TV commercials and some kind of film layout stuff. And then went on to TV animation stuff, then went into video games. And yeah, once in video games, a close friend that I'd known for like 5 years just suddenly passed away. And it just shocked my system just right to the core. And I was working on one of the most popular video games, and I was like, what am I doing here? What is life all about? And I made some deep discussion appointments with managers and everything. And I just said, you know what, I'm just messed up right now. I said, I'm in the dream job. I'm in a high-rise building looking out at the water. I have all these video game systems on my desk, and and I don't feel like I belong here. Like this is a dream job right now. This is here to look at this dream job for everybody. And I was just like, I have to do something that is more meaningful with my life. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was going to be. And I just said, talked with my wife about it too. And I made the leap there, not knowing what I was going to do, but it was just like, let's go. And I jumped off. And like all those spiritual texts tell you and everything, it's just like when you make the leap, you land on the clouds or you find your wings or anything like that. You find those people, but it was this path that I hadn't planned this path. I just thought, no, I'm doing the whole thing, got the good job and good pay and all this stuff. Yet I can't stay anymore. And so once you do that, then you find all these paths. And that's why all of a sudden it's like, you're searching for every single course in the galaxy. Oh, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? I'll try this. I'll try this. I'll try this. Right?
Sounds familiar.
And I tried so many courses and so many styles of courses and everything. And then it was the Laura Holick course that when she made that video and she was just saying, from my heart to your heart and things like that. And I was like, who is this? I need to take this course. But at the same time, I'm doing all my spiritual reading and reading every single book that's out there, listening to every audiobook, and just give me the answer. Just give me the answer. It's like, and still have not found the answer, but it's an answer that I'm creating on my own of what to do every day. And kind of that's where it leads to this, to meet. Like I've met so many people in that after leaping off, I've met so many people that it's like, oh, you're like that too? Like you just don't fit anywhere. It's like, oh my gosh, I thought I was that kid walking the wrong way in the parade, right? And it's like, why is everybody else going that way? And then when I'm hearing like, hey, I'm walking this way too. I'm walking this way too. Then it was just like, oh my gosh, I am still on the right path. And I just solidify that more and more. And then when you get connected with the universe and creator, whatever you call it, then you find your grounding and you just say, that's part of the answer that you were looking for, is that you have all the answers within you already. And I was like, yes, and you couldn't tell me that when I was 10 because I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
But long story short, yeah, that's how got to here. Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. And I could connect so much to the young guy or the adolescent who has to go through school. And I actually just survived by doodling and drawing the whole time. I was just telling someone yesterday that's how I survived. And teachers always thought I would not listen, but I was actually very present when I was doodling, even more in the moment. But I just thought it's so boring just to listen. I had to do something with my own energy, and that's I think I just survived because I had that tool.
Yeah. And it was so natural, right? It just came out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm still doing it. It's like
a
drug.
It's just not in a binder with 3 rings.
Exactly. And so right now, how does a day in your week look like, or how do your days look like?
It's now, like, I think the biggest kind of experiment that has happened since COVID happened was that all these new questions came out. Because at first you were just like, oh, that's something that's distant from me. And then as it entered our media and then entered our city, then entered our home, it's just like, oh, so I can't go out right now, or I have to do this and all that. The reality that came front and center, and it kind of shook me up a little bit, because it was just like, oh, like I just wanted to go to the grocery store really quickly, but now there's a lineup there. And I was saying, this is really happening. This is something that's really changing through us. So there was one point when social media just got ridiculous for me, kind of close to the start of COVID. And I was just like, stop it. Like it just, so much happened. So many riots were happening. And then all this kind of projection was coming out. If you're not doing this, then you're on the wrong side. If you're doing this, and it's like, and I was just like, I have to turn this off because all I'm hearing is, no, do it this way. It's black and white. It's clear, and the clarity of what truth is and all that. And it's like, no, we all have our own truth. And my truth right now for my own survival is to shut you off and shut you off. So I shut down Instagram. I just walked away. Facebook, I hadn't been on in a while. And I just went into audiobooks, and I just, again, here's that, it's another leap in a way. Teach me, teach me, teach me. So I'm listening to all these audiobooks. And I found this audiobook called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport.
Yeah, I just found it last week, actually.
No way. Awesome. When I heard him talk, and I was just like, yeah. And this guy has no social media accounts, and he writes these books, and he just said, I just want to let you know that I still am able to connect with people, get my book out there without what everybody else says. You need these channels in order to do that. So I'm literally out in the front trimming the bushes. I know you guys were talking about gardening at one point and all this, right? Where it's like it's the peaceful area. When I get out there, and I'm basically doing kind of like a Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, trim the tree until it looks like the bonsai was. Exactly. And I'm listening to this, and I'm laughing. Like if you saw me in my front yard, it's like, oh, he's having fun cutting that bush down. Like I'm just like, exactly, doing this. And he gave me the truth that you didn't need social media in order to find your truth, because what the truth was, again, was finding what lights you up in your day, finding what naturally gives you the passion of, when you put your head down at the end of the day, did you do the things that you wanted to do from your heart, versus did you get 5 more likes today? Did you get 2 more followers today? Like it started to be a bit too, you could get too obsessive about it. You start,
just keep on talking, because she told me she will have to quickly go and come again.
Oh, no worries.
It's not because you were boring.
Yeah, you know what? I'm out of here. But it was that shift where where when you say, I can do what I desire to do because it's me following my truth. The truth is about finding what, again, lights you up. So from that day, then I listened to some other books and listened to some other books. And then I found Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I remember seeing him on What is the Bleep a long time ago. And he was talking about creating your day back then. But now he was kind of like on this, oh my gosh, like high level of, I'm going to demystify a lot of these things about spirituality and meditation and all this stuff. And he was talking my language on another level. And I was just like, okay, so what I'm going to do from everything that I'm learning is, I'm not gonna, like I was an over researcher before, over planner. It's like, wow, I got to map this all out. I've got to have a flow chart so I know what's going on and do all these things. But what he reminded me was that there is a place out in the universe beyond all time, space, you being a being and all that, just in the darkness of space where everything is. And the first book I listened to of his was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And there was one section where I'm reading it or listening to it, and he just says, if there are things that you want to do and you're not doing them, you have to break the habit of being yourself. And I'm not just talking about picking up a new routine or something like that. I'm talking about go beyond you, go beyond your town, go beyond the earth, go beyond the galaxies, go beyond all that is, get to the nothingness, go to that space where nothing exists except energy, and then come back as a new rebuilt energy person. And like, if I heard that, if I replayed when I heard that, whoa, like, okay, this bush that I'm trimming is just a bush in my garden, but yeah, we know space is out there, we know we're part of the universe, we know all that, but in some ways we've taken it to be intellectual. So I ended up going on this trip to just say, every day I'm going to work on things, not have to go, yes, I did this, yes, I did this, yes, I did this, but things to break the habit of being myself, because I wanted to tap into that new self of myself. So I committed to a ritual of meditation. I hadn't really had a regular ritual of meditation. And I was starting to do things. He says, if you get up and brush your teeth like this way, or you wash your body the same way, wash the right hand instead, or wash the leg. So I was changing all these things up, because if I do the same thing all the time, I'm going to get the same result all the time. And then the days turn into months, turn into years and all that. And it's like, wow, what are you doing? Oh, I'm still redefining. This is Yoshi. Yoshi gets up and eats that cereal, and then he does all this. So I started to break it up. And that's what my days have become. Long story short, but that's what my days have become, of allowing the unknown to teach me what it is that I'm actually really pulled by, because I'm listening to something beyond my mind. And I think I've always thought with my heart. I just hadn't connected on this way to say, the unknown is where everything that you desire is. And only when you step into the unknown do you actually grasp what wants to become the known. And when you come into the known, it comes from a place that you don't even expect, right? Because if you expect, oh yeah, I know I'm going to take that course, and then he's going to say, go on Facebook and do this and do this. It's like, I did your 5 things and I only got 3 followers. You said I would get 10,000 followers or whatever, right? I was done with all that. And I still get pulled in. It's like, oh, what's this course? Oh, funnels and all this.
Funnels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it ends up now just being, what is it that is desiring to be created today? And I have, of course, my rituals to provide the stability of the pillars. It's like, I want to commit to things like doing the weekly video. I want to do a daily cartoon every day just to get that out. And I also want to expand, what is it, the type of art that you want to do right now? So like, I'm jumping into 3D sculpting right now, and it's just like, oh, I got to learn another program. I just want to be able to just like do it right now. Right?
The master, be the master of something, that's yours, right?
Exactly. And you want to learn it like the Matrix. Do you know how to fly that helicopter? Not yet. Right. So I allow each day to basically be, what is it that's going to bring you joy today? What is it that's going to allow you to spread light to the world? Like, whenever I'm doing a drawing of my little guy or making my video, I just want to inspire people, because I know there's other people that are looking, they're on different stages too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm looking. Oh, you're a reflection of all of us when we were there, and now you're looking for this. And maybe something I say will inspire you to go on your path at this next step.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of creative people have this desire to digest through expressing.
Yes.
Or to even feedback, because sometimes when I cannot put the things out that I'm experiencing, I feel like this creative constipation. I feel like I have too much beauty or ideas or wisdom or whatever inside. I have to create something to digest it and give it out. I don't even care so much about the likes or who sees it, but for me to have this cycle of in and out, and this balance of take and give.
Yes. Yeah.
And I sometimes even feel I feel responsible sometimes even for the beauty around me, to somehow bring that out to the world, because I sometimes feel like, did everyone see how beautiful this tree looks today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so strong, right?
Yeah, it's so strong. And it's like and I actually just read an article yesterday somewhere from another artist, and he said this this inner need is sometimes in creative people, in artists, is so strong that it even is bigger than the need for food or or clothes or money. They just have to create something.
Yes.
I don't know how you two feel about that. I it so resonates with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
It's so strong. Like
Mhm.
the thing with this 3D sculpting right now, I already see the picture of what I want to make, right?
Mm.
It's already there. And it's just
Mm.
like,
You have to
okay,
see it.
file, new, like there's
Mhm.
this pathway I have to go in, but I want to get it out. And it just calls within, just like, yes, you have to make this, you have to make this, you have to make this. And you end up getting to the point where you just say, today I just have to do, okay, I can't do the sculpting today, so I'm going to draw something
Mm.
because I need to get the first process out and let it out. But yeah, it's always there. And I've listened to it more and more because I think we all, when we got into our jobs at the beginning, we were all waiting for all the bosses telling what us to do, the clients telling us what to do. This is my focus now. And then you kind of put your life on hold. So it's like, oh, we got that project done.
Mm.
But I have done no art right in the last 3 weeks or whatever. So yeah, it's just, it's so vibrant. This is like, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go.
And maybe tomorrow it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it can be gone. Like ideas can be fleeting, and then you have to grab them and do it then, right? But what
Absolutely.
I was so curious about, because I really love how you were, now really not sticking to the status quo and really following the rules, and you have to do this and that. But of course, by leaving, like, or make unpopular choices, you also have to deal with the fear that is coming up, the fear of not belonging anymore, or, missing out, or, like, can I make the money to feed my family? How have you been dealing with that fear?
At the beginning, it was, I would walk into the bathroom and then you're just going to wash your hands. And I would look up and I would see my reflection. And for the longest time, I would say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, and it was always this confusion point. So when I was realizing, okay, this voice is talking a lot. This is a voice that's basically trying to say, hey, come walk with the status quo, come walk with everybody that's walking in the parade the same way. Yet I was just like, no, I can't, because it was almost like I made an oath to my friend when she passed away. I will do whatever it takes to spread this message. And that kept on replaying. So it's like, no matter what fear I had to walk through it. And you talk about grabbing onto a mantra, that just kept me on the path. Yeah, there's days that I'm crying, there's days that I'm angry, there's days that it's like, why didn't I just stay in video games? Why couldn't I? Like, I've seen other friends that were close to her and they're still in video games and they're still doing well. Why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I do that? And then that little voice is just like, right?
Yes.
It's because you're meant to do something else and you will find it, but you don't find the answer until you walk the path, because it's going to be that twig that's on the ground there that you happen to see on that day that allows you to have that awakening. But it's not going to be always a book that's on the shelf, because you get to a chapter in one of the books and you're just like, no, I don't align with that, but I aligned with all those other chapters. So then I started to realize it's like recipe books where it's just like, now I'm making my own apple pie, which is a bit of crust from you, a bit of fruit from you and all that. And you build the Yoshi recipe or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful.
And so the fear starts to dissipate the more you see the results of your journey, right? And you're just like, because fear is almost the absence of the truth, right? Where it's just like, fear only exists because you're believing that you can't do something, or you believe that all the answers are there. And I remember with one of my life coaches at the start, I said, this 3D stuff, trying to learn it, it's difficult. And I said, the universe doesn't know 3D. I said, it doesn't know how hard this is. And then she just started laughing. And I was just like, what? No, I'm serious. This is really hard 3D stuff. And then when I think about it, I was just like, the 3D program came out because somebody learned about this and this and this and this, and it all goes back to because they based it on how a planet was made or how a planet orbits or whatever, right? So the answers are all coming from out there anyway. So it's just like, you know what, the universe made that 3D program, right?
Wow.
So it knows it all. But up until that point, I was just like, no, you don't understand. And she was just like, you will understand, right? Eventually. And then I'm like, wow.
Often it's not even your own fear, but maybe it's the fear of your parents or the people around you. And for me, it was like that. There was no artist in my family. I mean, there were creative people. They just, they just did it as a hobby, but no one who followed the creative path. And I felt like I constantly had the voices of, let's say, my parents inside my head. And one coach told me a phrase that sticks with me forever, which is, if you're born to be a leader in some kind or find your own thing, then you probably are born into a family or a city or a place where there is nothing like you, so that you have to find your uniqueness, because if there would be all the people who were like your tribe and do the same thing, you could not even live your leadership.
Yes.
The diamond cannot be grinded, right?
Exactly.
To really become the shining diamond that it has to become.
Yeah. And you have to be thrown into it in that way to realize your truth, right?
Yeah.
I just noticed I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm just going to plug in my Ethernet so it stays stable. I was just like, oh, I'm on Ethernet. It's fine. It's like, oh.
Well, you're stable. All good.
Yeah, it's very stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't run out of the room like other people, everything's fine.
Yeah, we were saying, I'm out of this social media. I'm gone.
yeah, I was laughing. It was just like, oh, I guess I said Instagram and social media, and then she's like,
now you said funnels.
Yeah, I said funnels. Yeah, it was like, I don't know where you got this guy from, but he said those words.
Oh my God, I can't handle this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So awesome.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, it's my dogs. It's always the dogs.
Nice. Excellent.
No, but I by the way, I loved how you like that actually what helped you in the beginning when you made the big leap, that like this bigger why helped you, like the passing of your friend, this promise that you kind of made to her kept you pulling through. And then at one point you got the results and you started to see, now, now I have the feedback of the universe itself. And now I know I'm on the right path. But in the beginning, you literally have to just jump without the wings, right? You just have no clue.
Yeah, exactly. And you think you've gone off the deep end, literally, right? Because you just think, well, like, why am I even doing this the harder way? It's almost like if you're building a house. Oh, don't worry, I can learn how to make cement and I can learn how to do all these things. But we are making those steps, but only because we don't have, say, the one-on-one with our project manager or something like that to tell us like, hey, how are we doing? And then you get your approval on your performance report or something like that. So I had to also unlearn all those things that I would be looking for. Like, am I doing well? And it's like, no, the only person you have to report to is yourself and who you desire to be. Yet nobody told me that, so I'm only hearing it and learning it. This is like, I did 5 drawings, but they could be better, and I'm not good at that, and I'm not like all those voices. I think once you get to that point where you realize, when you make your art, when you make your dance or whatever it is, are you alive when you're doing it? because
Yeah.
that's all that matters. And the people who sense that aliveness are the ones that are going to be naturally attracted into your universe to say, oh my God, and like I just saw that thing that you did. And that's the way it works. Whereas before you just think, like I remember I did a lecture at the video game place, and I was doing it about creativity and inspiration and spirituality. So I was so excited. So they said, put posters up and get everybody to come in. I get into the lecture room, so excited to do my talk. And there's like 5 or 7 people in the audience. And I'm in a building of like 2,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. And my friend had done a talk, I think a week before, and it was packed. There are so many people. So you even walk into those situations and then you're just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And so I do the talk, and then one of my friends that was in the audience, and she wasn't there to say, hey, I'll come there to support you. She really wanted to be there. She tells me about a year later or whatever, because it came up in conversation, and she just said, I still remember that talk you gave and what you said at this one point. You said there's a light when you're blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, wow, it doesn't matter if your audience is only one person. That one person can ripple through. But social media and everything is telling you, oh, you need 10,000, 10 million followers to be successful. Yet that truth, when it comes down to it, yeah, well, if I had that, I think that may be a distraction because you think that that's what it's all about. When come back to, you're talking to that one person. I think that's like when I make my videos, I'm just talking to that one person. And if I can connect with that person, then my job is done. I look at my video or whatever, and I just say, oh, 3 likes. 3 likes.
Yeah. And
Right?
imagine all, let's say, you know, you have 200 followers.
Yeah.
And imagine you would stand in a room and 200 people would listen. That would feel huge.
Exactly.
And imagine all these people take your wisdom and tell it someone. And then what you said, it's that ripple effect. And something that I learned, which I always remember, is, you know, don't think about all the ones that you cannot reach yet. Think about the ones that are already following you, and treat them like you would be standing in a room with them, and tell and give all the attention to them, because 200 is a lot already.
Yes, exactly.
And that's just, you know, that's just a really very false perception that we kind of made, that if you look someone's profile, oh, it's like 70,000, oh, she must tell something very interesting. I am not, because I have 500 followers. But it's all, you know, it's all just strategy, and it's a lot of work put into that. And what you said, maybe they didn't really follow their truth, but they just followed the guideline, and then kind of lost themselves within that guideline.
Exactly.
You can't measure happiness with numbers. You never can.
No.
And you really have no idea. This is also something I've learned, like also when I was back then, when I was an actress, you know, sometimes we have this rule, you know, you don't play, like when the cast, when you're more people in cast and the people are sitting there, you just don't play. And it once happened that we had really, it was a very small theater, and there really were, I think, 3 people or so. And we were like, even it was a guest play somewhere, and we did it, we saw it through, and it was like the best. It was like people were in tears, and they were like, oh my God, this was a life-changing experience, you know.
Wow.
And it was so beautiful, and I saw it there happening, just because we said, we're going to play for these people, you know.
Yes.
We play for thousands of people.
Yeah.
And same is also with posts, you know, like I sometimes get feedback from people I didn't even know they were on Facebook. Like, you
Yes.
had this post back then in
2 years later.
Yeah.
like, are you even on Facebook, dude? I have no clue. But you know, like, you never know whose life you're changing just by being who you are and doing your
Yes.
thing and doing your art and shining your light in whatever way you're shining it in that
Yes.
moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, that all of us who are going on this path, that's what we're learning, is what feeds us, and to remind us that this is the path of that alignment, right? It's just like, it's a feeling. Oh, it's not an analytic, it's a feeling. So everywhere we're going, it's all about that feeling. And to know that I'm following the feeling. And then I remember back to that Star Wars phrase, and I was just like, Obi-Wan is still truth, right? From the 10-year-old. Yes, the Force is actually real, and it's all there. So, oh my gosh, thank you for the guidance, universe, to put this media out there in the form of this film that somebody else, I'm sure George Lucas, I think at the time, he just said, I just expected this just to be a sci-fi film that kind of comes out, sells a bunch of tickets, and then goes away. And it's not going away, right? It's just keeps expanding. So it's the feeling.
Yeah, talking about the 10-year-old, Yoshi reminded me that it's for people who, or when we are in this search phase of who am I and what's my path and what's my genius, it's often so helpful to go back and think, what brought me so much joy when I was a child?
Yes.
When I was not conditioned yet, when I wasn't influenced by the Matrix.
Yes.
And we often realize we still do the same things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's because it's funny that memory of how we were thinking back then is just so now for us, because like if there is no time, then everything's existing now, and it's just like, oh, I can remember how I was when I was 10 years old. And then you add on to this, okay, if I can break the habit of being myself and not remember the pain of that, or not remember the being lost at that time, then I can relabel that past as, like, make it become wisdom, so that it's something that I learned from, rather than something that but remember, you get scared when you go into this, but remember, right? Just no, but I've done things that I'm not scared anymore. So that past memory that you're trying to replay to make me, it's just wisdom now. So I have learned from that. And that's the best thing that I can feel moving forward, is that there were no mistakes. There wasn't anything that you were supposed to do faster. There wasn't any trip that you were supposed to go on in this path that would like, oh, and then I would have made it. Like, if only that happened. I remember getting my rejection letter from Lucasfilm because I wanted to work on Star Wars. And then the letter came, is like, oh my God. And then I open it up. And like all my dreams were just gone at that moment, right? It's like, I'll never work on it. And then all my friends were starting to work on it. And I was just like, it's over. Like, the door is closing. I missed the door. I can't be a part of that. And then the new films came out, and I said, well, I'm glad I'm not part of that. So thank you for that wonderful letter. Thank you for that. Right. So, but it ends up becoming back to that feeling about everything.
And that's where the meditation helps so much, because you're connecting not with the experience of the narrow mind, which is just based on all the past fears, mistakes, conditions, whatever. But you're really connecting with your soul, who is just sees every possibility that exists.
Yeah. Meditation for me, like I didn't really understand it before when I tried it before, and they were always saying it's the state of no mind, so just try to get rid of the thoughts, right, and come to this blank canvas kind of area. And so I'm just sitting there like years ago and just like, I can't do it.
The little man comes back in.
Yeah, exactly. So when I did it this time, And with a new understanding of, again, breaking the habit of being myself, I was just like, okay, I'm just open. And now I have a conversation with the universe, with creator, with all that is. And I just said, you know what? I'm here. Like I welcome you to feed me whatever energy you desire, because I'm a product of you. Like, so I have you within me already, but I'm sorry about the separation, but now I get it. And then like, and then I've never felt so much buzzing natural, like the energy buzzing of woof,
Yes.
woof, woof. And I was just like, oh, this is what meditation is, right? It's like,
Wow. Yeah.
well, no wonder people
Yeah.
want to do this daily,
Yeah.
because it just cleans the slate.
I
Like,
know.
and you forget who you are, and you forget
Yeah.
that you were hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's also a beautiful take on meditation, because I also still struggle sometimes to meditate, you know, because I'd rather go for a dog walk, or I don't know, like just a walk, like moving.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
most when I can clear my mind.
Yes.
But I love this idea of, you know, like really fill me up with whatever you think I need right now, you know, the kind of not intentionally wanting something, but just opening the book or the vessel, you know, like, okay, I'm here.
Exactly.
And I really often use it to ask what's next, you know, just because I feel like when you are trying some techniques where you have to again use your mind to see a blank page, you're not really connected, you know.
Yes.
When you described it exactly how I experience it, I right now, you know, I'm meditating for so many years that now I can almost switch a button where I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I'm now in, and
Yeah.
I feel like source is just flowing through me like a
Beautiful.
waterfall, and
Yes.
everything is buzzing, and it's just love. It's nothing else. It's just love.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I can just sit and just be in that and smile, and I don't need anything. No food, nothing. But then my kids are screaming, and
Hungry.
Yeah,
That's how it happens.
totally. The love, love. I knew I loved love as a kid, just with my family, because it's like, oh wow, we're a family that hugs. So every time we're saying goodbye, everybody hugs and makes sure they hug everybody. So I just got used to that. But what I'm realizing is that the understanding of what love is on that level, because that's a non-speaking time, even if you're saying to your cousin or your relatives, really good to see you, really good to see you. I didn't realize how much that was adding to that connection, right, of everything. So when in the meditation, when you talk about that love, the beginning is kind of like, Joe Dispenza said at one point, at one of the meditations, he says, love, at the beginning, love yourself enough to do this. And when I hear that phrase, I'm just like, that's why I'm here, to love myself enough to do that, and not in an ego sense, but come back to the connection with the universe and the creator. And then all of a sudden it's like I'm feeling it right now. That's, oh my gosh, there's so much love already. And I say to the universe, I was like, oh my gosh, like, you make planets and nebula and black holes and stars, like we make pancakes or whatever, right? It's just like, it's so easy for you. And yet, if we tried to build a planet as a human race, there would be so many things. Oh, we have to do so many calculations and work out the physics and do all this, like we do with our spacecrafts, and we can get it down to precision. But the universe is kind of out there, not even needing the acknowledgement of it. It's just like, what's it feeling? Like, hey, universe, so what's a typical day for the universe, right? It's just like, just whoosh, 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 right? And just love. But it's a level of intelligence that just follows its heart of, which is at the core love. And so, oh, well, if it's following its heart at the core of love, and it made us, then I can tap into that love, as I allow it and not get the separation in there. And then once, okay, you're making my mind go trippy, because now it's like, what's going on here? Who am I? What do I define? But the alignment with the love is immediate, that you cannot deny it. And there's no fear in that, because all it is just like, I'm so in love with the universe. I am so in love with this reality. And so whatever struggles are here is just a dictionary definition that man made up to say struggle is so many letter word to mean this is, oh, that's what I have is struggle.
Mhm.
Okay, and to get out of it, I need a funnel. Okay, I will get out. We're going for 3 times.
Three times. Oh my God, it's a funnel conversation here.
The creative tunnel.
Funneling is love.
Exactly. So it's a beautiful funnel. It's
Mm.
just
Mm.
it's just everything. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
How would you define creative success for yourself now?
It's connected with what you had said when you said, do you have that feeling that there are things that you need to create and that they want to get out? So creative success is for me to be able to tap into that, oh my gosh, I have to create this, and then to see it appear on whatever tool or whatever medium is going to make it. And then when I see it, like, it's funny with all my videos, these guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, where are the cardboard guys?
Okay. It's funny, when I do these guys, I get so giddy when I make this, because you should see the path that I still go on in my analytical mind, where I just say, oh, when I make this, oh, but you need a laser cutter to cut this out clean so that you can repeat this process over and over again. When I'm like, yeah, but I'm using scissors. Yeah, but aren't you getting the pinching on here and all that? Like, all those voices come in. But I look at this, and this guy looks back at me, and I just said, that's creative success right there, because I didn't allow the shoulds to overtake what the creative idea wanted to be. And this was just a piece of cardboard, like plain cardboard, that was just sitting in my collection of cardboard to just say, okay, what are you going to be now? And then you add marker onto that. Is this any less valuable because I didn't use acrylic paints or oil paints, or I didn't varnish it, or I didn't do anything? It's just like, no. And I said to a friend, I just said, if some celebrity, you wanted their autograph, if they signed it on a napkin and gave it to you, is that worth less because you didn't get it signed on one of their movie posters or anything like that? It's like, no, you would still freak out because you say, oh my God, it's on a piece of napkin. And it's there. So that whole energy transfer of saying, we only label all these identities of what is value, what is worthwhile, because again, earth plane existence needs to put a label on what it is, when in the end, creative success is basically, did you put your head down at the end of the night and did you just go, I did one of the things that I set out to accomplish today, which is very important to me. Even if I didn't, that's okay. I worked towards it, right?
Yeah.
And even if, like, when I was on the meditation streak, where it's like, I can't miss a day, can't miss a day, can't miss a day. And then I missed a day, and this is like, oh, I should have even done a short meditation or whatever. It's okay, because there actually are no days. Like, it's just one long time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything wants to get back to the analytics.
Yeah. And also from the outside, it always looks so different. I always think it's success is also looking from the outside. If I can see you, who you are, and so often we are kind of in our narrow little mind, and we think but who am I and what's my label? But from the outside, it's so clear. This is Yoshi's art, and we see Yoshi in everything that you create. It's so clear because it's the energy. It doesn't even matter if it's cut out with the scissor, or if it's painted on a today on a black paper, and tomorrow you do a wall painting. We see the energy, and sometimes we get so lost in those details.
Yes.
How can I, really define my style or my brand, or who am I actually serving? Who's my ideal client? What are their problems? How can I help them? And yeah, Donald. Yeah, and coming back to the beginning, it's just being, when you are present and in the moment, and just being you, and share your own joy and what lights you up, which has probably lit you up already as a little child.
Yes.
I think that's the arrow towards your success.
Absolutely.
Or the compass. That's what I was looking for, the compass.
Yes. Yeah. Because it always guides, like when you listen to that heart, that child, that light inside, go this way. Okay. Yep. Going that way, finding it. And I think that's the thing about anything. Like before, when I was into Star Wars as a kid, I had to go to the store to buy Darth Vader, to buy these things. I'm home, open up the package, and I can play with that. Now, as an adult, still with that same excitement, you mean I don't have to go to the store to buy that thing? I can just make that thing at home. And now this has so much energy of what the core of why I even wanted that action figure in the beginning. I didn't want it because it was Darth Vader or Stormtrooper or whatever. I actually wanted the energy that I felt when I saw that on the screen, and replicate that at home and bring it home, right? So to now make your own at home, and you're just like, everything, again, it gets back to, you already have everything that you need. People are convincing that you need these. Of course, without my laptop, I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now. So, okay, laptop is important for this connection and all that. But the real feeling that it comes down to, of being able to just say, oh, yeah, the energy is what I was going after all along. So even hearing you talk about the energy of Yoshi is into that, even kind of dissipates some things that I've been thinking about in the last week, right? Or if I was going on that laser cutter kind of mentality, it's just like, oh, just use an X-Acto knife today instead, right? And then go around there. So it's I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And I think what you bring to the world is always, your art is always inspired by some daily wisdom. I remember your samurai breakfasts where you kind of, looked at a pancake and just found the daily wisdom, a pancake, something like that. And now it's with your cardboard examples, which we will link probably your Instagram account to, and see how you have this beautiful way of connecting creativity, art, and daily wisdom, spirituality, to really bring things into perspective.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's funny, the whole cardboard thing came out because the old thinking mind me would say, shoot the video, and now everything that you're talking about with hand gestures, you can now add a graphic later, and you can animate it, and you can do all these things, right? So in my mind, I used to be like that. You can do all that, and and now it's just like, I just shot the video, and now I have to spend another 5 hours animating this thing, revisiting the energy that I had in the video, when I can capture it right now, real-time compositing. I move this from this side to this side, and it's animating now. Whereas if I had to add that later, it's
Yeah.
like, see this thing,
Yeah.
it's just, no, it's not efficient for me anymore to do it that way.
That's
Because
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, so it's cardboard. It's funny. So many of my friends that I used to work with know me because I used to make crazy cardboard things at work as well. And they always called me like the cardboard artist, and I'd be sending out poetry and all these things. But I get emails to this day where it's just like, hey, Yoshi, check this out. And it's like a cardboard cubicle, a cardboard office, a cardboard this, right? And the universe is reflecting back to me, this is your truth. Whereas I may say, oh no, but this should be la la la, it should be a plastic, it should be whatever. It's like, no, get back to the energy again, like you say. Is this what you felt like making? Yes, it's just a Sharpie that was actually running out of ink and you had to go around more times and all that. You didn't have to go get a new Sharpie, but the energy came across. So
it's also sustainable.
Yeah, exactly.
Minimal.
Totally.
It's absolutely contemporary.
Totally. Without even having to plan that, right?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It's so true. It's funny, I hadn't heard that phrase where you just said ideal client and find their pain and try to solve their pain, because that was the first courses at the beginning, right? Where it's just like, you need, if you want to get a successful business going,
that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They need tires. People need tires, so I should get into tires, right? Because that's their pain, right? What are you doing, Yoshi?
God.
I'm selling tires. Are you happy? I have a sustainable business. Excuse me, I have a customer right now. He needs winter tires.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. By the way, something that you said about the autograph on a napkin, I had to laugh because I still have a love letter of my husband on a napkin. It's dirty even, it's used, but I
Oh,
still have it
nice.
here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the core of it, right? Because it has that, whatever, coffee stains or it's crumpled or whatever, right?
The story is there, it's this Japanese restaurant we were in, and the sushi we ate that day. It's all in this napkin.
Awesome. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's so true. That's the energy of
That's
that
the
day.
energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now, is there something we haven't touched on, like connected to creativity or creative path, or like a truth bomb that you would like to share with our audience, that maybe something you are working on today or something you had an insight on lately that you would like to give out to the world?
Yeah, it's as I'm learning, as I wipe my nose always runs when I get on Zooms. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, wait, the nose is gonna run. What? Yeah, exactly. There's the energy. Just want to let you know the energy's flowing. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's really flowing today. Make me cry. Yeah. I think that the biggest kind of immediate thing right now, because as I'm learning this 3D sculpting tool, and I'm looking for tutorials for people to teach me how to use this 3D sculpting tool, and I'm going through all the videos, and it's kind of funny because it's kind of echoing the first day of when you make the leap and now you want to take all those courses. You're searching for all the courses, and all the courses are going to give you hints at what you like and what you don't like based on the instructor, based on their energy. But you're going to find one that aligns with you naturally, because what I'm finding, like a lot of YouTube can have the answers to everything. You want to learn how to fix your toilet or whatever, you can find videos on it, but you're going to find a guy who's got his camera and he's just like, okay, just you grab this pipe and then you go like this and then you got that and that's all you do. It's like, dude, I can't even see the toilet. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So you go to the next one. You eventually get to one where it's just like, they didn't talk in the first 2 minutes about hi, we're going to fix a toilet. So I just want to let you know that when we get around to teaching you how to fix the toilet, that you'll be able to fix the toilet. So I want to make sure that you know that fixing the toilet is all right thing to fix the toilet. So, okay, let's get started. That was 2 minutes, right? Of me understanding you're going to teach me to fix the toilet. So there's going to be somebody who just says, like, I found this amazing video for sculpting, and the guy just said, okay, hey, there's a lot of videos out there and a lot of it tells you this blah 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 and this blah blah blah. I'm just going to tell you what, you know what, all you need to know is this. Put a sphere there and then click this tool, grab that, boom, look, you're making something, right? And you want to do this, just go like that. And I was just like, exactly, right? That's a long-winded way to say of how align with what naturally will come out. Don't feel like you have to find the perfect solution that's contained in that one course that is going to teach you absolutely everything about it, because it ends up being a piecemeal thing that comes together till I eventually get to that point that just says, here's my basics, make a sphere, make this, add this, ta-da, face, right?
Yeah, and
then
sometimes you need to go through, maybe it takes a long time until you find that teacher. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think maybe if I wouldn't have had the struggle in between, I wouldn't appreciate, or like, I wouldn't be ready for that aha.
Yeah, exactly. It's that contrast, right? Of just
Yeah,
like struggle,
yeah.
struggle, struggle.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just dive into the pool.
yeah. We are so conditioned to, if we have a problem, to fix it now and quickly and tomorrow or yesterday, even yesterday.
Even yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for us to accept that sometimes maybe we spend 2 years just figuring out something.
The process,
Yeah.
honoring the process,
Mhm.
and seeing
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
the process is
Mhm.
what makes us who we are, and that we
Exactly.
also will express ourselves through the process in
Yes.
our own energy.
Yes, it's all about the process. It's not about the end result. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that gets connected to time so much, right? We all have this, oh, another birthday, another birthday, another birthday.
Mhm.
And we think, oh, I spent 4 years trying to get through that. But because when it's looked at as a process, then you end up saying, but amazing 4 years of growth, right? To come out of that in the end. So like meditation, I guess, just has it all, because there's no time, there's no space, there's no person, there's no, it just is. And what is it? It's love. Okay. So I would love myself for those last 4 years that I took. I will love myself because, oh, I struggled to try to find that solution, but I found the solution eventually. I love myself in the end. I don't say you should have found it faster, you should have found this easier. No, you found it when you were meant to. Love yourself for finding it in that process. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful ending for that. Maybe you can make a little cardboard animation with the art of Yoshi.
It's like, I can't find the right tutorial. I still can't find the right tutorial. Tomorrow I'll start. Still can't find the right tutorial. Oh, what's this? Oh, I just make a sphere, and then I just make another sphere, and then I have a face now. Oh, I am so happy. I am so happy. There's the joy. The joy. It's all about the process and the energy. Yeah.
Oh,
I should just wear
that.
yeah.
So cute.
Oh,
Thank
He's
you
my
so
truth.
much. That's so much wisdom.
Yes, so many truth bombs and
Yes.
bloopers.
love it. I love the whole, just the label of your podcast as being truth bombs and bloopers. It's just, it is complete acceptance of everything that it is, right?
Yeah.
Where when you guys press that record button, it's just like, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay,
Anything
whatever.
can happen. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing was how this came about us that Priska and I, we're so in love with bloopers. So we would always think, how can we create our own bloopers? You know, it's just much more fun to watch the bloopers in the end of a movie than the movie itself. And I think symbolically, it's just exactly all the things that we actually want to cut out from our life, or even a talk that we feel ashamed or embarrassed of, to make this into something fabulous, you know, something outstanding that can stand for itself.
Yes.
And through the bloopers we learn and we have a lot of fun. So that's like, it's life, right?
Yeah,
it's Truthbombs and bloopers.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing that the blooper, where they always talk about cutting room floor and all that stuff, right? The stuff they edited out. When you pull that stuff up, you realize that was the moment that pure energy was being expressed, and why it's so fun to watch those bloopers. It's like, oh my gosh, that was Carrie Fisher playing Princess Leia, and then all of a sudden she started like this. It's like she went out of character. That's amazing.
Yeah,
so cool. It's so cool. You have these cool people, you know, playing so seriously, and then they hit their heads, or I don't know, and you're just like cracking up. I just love it. Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, I appreciate the whole show that you have going on to allow that to express itself, and in its name itself, and in what you guys do, it's allowing that expression just to be such a truth, and just say, we are real, this is who we are, we're saying it from our heart, and we're just getting it out there. And it's truth. So amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so
very much. It was amazing talking to you.
Yeah,
lots of fun.
Okay, guys,
excellent.
have a lovely time till the next time, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
Your microphone also looks very smart over there. You know, this,
that's what I should have done. Where it's like, you ask a question, it's like, so what was the creative process that you went through? Well, actually, can you hear me? Yeah. Like I always wonder in the podcast, they'll have the microphone and then they'll have it like right here, right? And it's like, hi, welcome to the show. And they've got the big, you have to be like this, actually. We're doing spontaneous art now, yeah.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm professional because I've got the headset and I've got the mic. And I'm on a stand and I can adjust this stand so it goes around. If you're not using this mic and if you're not using this headset, your podcast is done. I'm telling you, right? So,
exactly. You know, because we actually feel so embarrassed with our white every week. I think, how long am I going to do this with you?
Like if you're making podcasts with those Apple headsets, you know, that has the mic on there, you guys are just amateurs. Like, I mean, you really have to get the whole big headset.
I'm missing those. I'm absolutely missing those 10,000 listeners because of that.
This is the reason why.
Yeah.
You're getting it with your earphones.
Exactly.
It's always been you.
Yeah. I noticed you have a loop on yours. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
You have to have this cool, like, you know, like also have to put it around like this.
Oh, you put it around.
Yeah,
but it has to go to the right side first. Because the other way.
Yeah. And also yours is not so cool because mine is like, you know, it's a bit thicker. I mean, like.
Oh, yes, it's thicker than.
This is like what makes it 20,000.
Ah. So there's several levels even before I get to this.
Yeah.
I've got a long way to go. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I was like,
existential crisis.
Just watch some more YouTube videos and you
Yeah.
will get
And you will
there.
get there.
Yes.
Yes.
You will find the right teacher.
Get the fun owl, and then everything is going to be. Christina, she always has this beautiful way for making things visible.
Totally. It's gonna be in the next dance.
Yeah.
Yes,
Get the
exactly.
fun now. Get
Get
the
the
fun
fun
out.
out. Get the
Get the
fun out
fun-
of here.
Perfect flow. So, but just don't say, hey, okay, next time, why don't you get up at 5:30 so it's actually afternoon for us.
We're not doing that.
The
We're not
lighting
cool.
would be much more professional.
Yes, the lighting.
Oh, and we have to be professional. Remember
we have to
that.
be very professional.
Yes, yes, exactly. So thank you for having me on the show. Hair is crazy. Oh, I should have fixed the hair at the beginning.
Okay, but that's too late now, Yoshi. That's
Yeah.
too late.
Kids.
Oh, we can repair it in post visual effects.
Oh.
Exactly.
We put some, I don't know, wig on you.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.